Escaping the Odds podcast is a movement of freedom in the physical and financial sense. We highlight people who bounce back from prison by switching hustles and a mindset. See, business has always been a part of my DNA. I just went about it the wrong way, which sent me to federal prison for 9 years. I'm bringing y'all dope stories of triumph that's meant to inspire and educate to take you to the next level. And no matter where we come from or come from under, we can set ourselves free and escape the odds. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to Escaping the Odds. I'm your host, Aaron Smith. We got some dope stories for y'all today. Formerly incarcerated men and women who are now entrepreneurs. Let's get it. Thank y'all for tuning in to another dope episode of Escaping the Odds podcast. I got a dope brother on with me today, Mr. Andre, PR Con Connect, which is a social network, think LinkedIn, but for the formerly incarcerated, provide with professional resources, jobs, and things of that nature. As you all know here at Escaping the Odds, we interview the formerly incarcerated who are now successful entrepreneurs, and this brother's really doing this thing, something different, I definitely want to tap into the whole tech industry and how he's doing it, and also get into his background as well. So I want to welcome Mr. Andre for Con Connect. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Yo, what's going on, Aaron? What's going on, man?
No,
definitely happy to be here. Happy to do this interview with you.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. I definitely wanted to just get into your background, man. Both professional and the former lifestyle that you used to we both was involved in, and to come from that and to now doing, like, you got a tech company, you got advisors, you're doing your thing, you know what I mean? And so just being able to kind of tap into that and kind of understand how did that all develop. But before we get into that, just give us a little backstory. I know you're from New York, and just kind of take us through that whole journey that you've been on the past 10 years or so.
Yeah, definitely, brother. So I grew up in Westchester County, Aaron. I grew up in Yonkers, biggest city in Westchester County and stuff. So I grew up here most of my life, bounced back between like Bronx, Harlem. Most of that time I spent out in Yonkers, out here with my mom and stuff. So we grew up on the south side, Highland Avenue. And I want to say that was like the more rougher part of Yonkers. The closer to the Bronx you got, more of the violence, more like that gunplay, more that drug trafficking stuff to come in. People see Westchester here, Westchester County, they start thinking, oh, things are good, things are better over there. New York City, things is rough, but different ball game. Actually, same ball game, just a whole different team playing over here. So being over here, I grew up in Yonkers, and I got into that lifestyle, criminal lifestyle, about 15 years old. And what really sort of got me into it is my mom had my little brother, Andrew. She had my two little sisters. They all came from the same pops. I came from another pops that really wasn't around. He sort of dipped off to like London, bounced on me. So seeing that sort of made me feel like, I got to do my own thing. I got to go get my own bread. Because my mom she took care of me, but now she got these 3 kids. She's doing her thing for my younger siblings. So from there on, got into the drug game with a older dude from my neighborhood who just ended up putting me on at like 16. I want to say from 16, once he put me on, I was able to see like whole use like business mindset that I had, because I was in school, everything on my way to college, trying to do computer science major, thinking either computer science or journalism. Not really sure where I wanted to go on the educational route, but I definitely knew I was already in the hood, so I was going to do what I could do being in the hood, right? And I was selling drugs to make some money. So I want to say I did sell drugs on a small scale for about a year and a half, and after a year and a half of selling drugs, just like anybody who's going to take anything serious, I sort of perfected that. I perfected that craft. Took that small scale to like a sort of larger scale. Started dealing with big organizations. Stood to marijuana. Like started bringing in like super amounts of money. Took my drug business and started like dealing with guns. Started moving guns and drugs throughout like the whole tri-state area, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey. And then from there, Aaron, believe it or not, I was shooting like my organization. We started bringing in like super tons of money.
Excuse me.
Maybe from like 2009 to 2012. Literally, we know we were under an investigation, right? Federal investigation. But from between those years, right, I learned a lot learned a lot of business, right? A lot about business, a lot about making connections. I learned a lot about networking. Using all those skills in the illegal world got me far. Got me making super amount of money, 200,000 in 9 months. I'll never forget that. I was only like 20 years old to see that much money
Yeah.
again. But like I said, I remember everything that it took to get there, and then it was just one day, things, living life. Went to a gas station. Just like I said, it was just one night. Went to a gas station pretty late. Gas station down here, like in my neighborhood. We needed just like a Dutch and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And once they went to the gas station, we bumped into just it was just like it was a bad night for me, man. Truck mistake. Ended up bumping into a dude that I ended up having some problems with that we've been interacting with each other for the past couple of years. And at the gas station, I ended up letting shots go at the gas station, about 8 to 12 shots, hitting this kid. He was with his girlfriend and stuff. Ended up making a crazy, crazy bad decision that night. His whole life turned around. Um, the Yonkers, Westchester County District Attorney's Office dropped the indictment on me that they already were having. So came, got me, indicted me for drugs, indicted me for like the guns, indicted me for the shooting that night. So
Wow.
whole life switch up. Like all that network and all that fun I had from 2009 to 2013. Like it was shot down overnight, right? And just that one night from that one mistake of me just going out, being drunk, and making a stupid
Yeah.
decision. Because
So, so,
to be,
so,
yeah,
so you think that the shooting expedited the indictment that was already had you under investigation from the state?
oh yeah, it expedited it because as soon as they got me in the station and they put me in the back, I heard the officers calling the district attorney, and
Mm.
I'm not able to hear what they're saying, but I already know from there they went to my apartment, they went got everything that they needed, went to the store that we were working out of, went
Yeah.
got a couple of my other people, so that expedited. I guess that was enough. Like we were investigating for drugs. This is violence. You know how they play. Let's just end it right here.
There you
So
go.
ended up getting a lawyer, first time offense, and just copping out to the gun and the reckless endangerment for using the gun.
Hmm.
Crazy story how I was able to like beat the marijuana charge, but ended up doing like 5.5 years for that. So all that
Okay.
stuff, all the stuff done, all the money gone, the car that I got, new car that I got locked up in that night, everything done overnight.
Yeah.
All that bank accounts closed.
Mm.
Um, from whatever I thought hood superstar back to normal now again, just average Joe sitting in
Right.
jail, quiet. And it's just quiet now, so everything is just done. So again, just being in jail now, not sitting in jail for these next. I'm going to be in jail for the next 5 years. I'm 22 years old.
Hmm.
I want to say that immediately I started thinking differently. Immediately from when I took that 5.5 years on May 7th, when I finally copped out,
Hmm.
immediately I went back to my son. Immediately I was thinking different from the county jail. It didn't take me to go to the state, to the
Right.
to the state to actually see. It didn't take me to get into a bad interaction in the state prison. Literally from when I was sentenced, I knew like that there was more bad involved in that life than there
Yeah.
was good. Right. I had to really, and then I ain't even all the money went to the lawyers and everything else. So it's not like there was
It was a
it's like
waste of time.
it
Yeah.
was a waste of time. It was like a relationship. I weighed the good, I weighed the bad, and the bad
Hmm.
one, and I had to leave that relationship alone. Right,
Right.
it wasn't gonna work for me. So in jail, I utilized that time, and I was in college, like I said, doing on the outside. So what I did was communicated with my college, got into like the correspondence, found out a way to get my book sent up there to sort of finish that, right? So I can sort of like finish my bachelor's degree, which at the time I was trying to get a bachelor's degree in journalism. I was trying to be a crime journalist, report crime,
Yeah.
different crimes.
Right. That's ironic though. Ain't it?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what
Yeah.
um, went a different route, changed it over to computer science. Wanted to get into the tech space, then said nah. Went to sports science. I wanted to be a personal trainer. Help people get healthier. This all came from my mom passing like a year before I got locked up. She passed from like high blood pressure, medical issues, right, health issues. So I switched my major, sports science, sports medicine, sort of get into personal training and inspire health more
Right.
so in for the Black community, the Spanish community, because we the ones who suffering from those issues. But
Hmm.
ended up getting into college program and as many programs as I can. As soon as I got to state prison, right? Like all the waiting lists, everything, all the research in the county. I talked to all the OGs, the big homies, what was gonna
Yeah.
happen. Yo, how this thing? They all told me, yo, it's gonna be a wait list for this, that, and this. You're gonna sit up there waiting, and they was right. They damn sure was right, but they was wrong about a lot. They said you ain't gonna get nothing done. You're gonna be getting stuff done at the end of your bid. I was able to get a lot of shit done from the moment I went up there. Right, I published I was able to go up there, and within my first year in Bear Hill Correctional Facility, I was able to reach out to a few literature agents and get published, right? And
Wow.
publish my book on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and stuff like that. And that was just in my first year of being incarcerated. That was year one of year five.
Right,
And
right.
Connect was still not even a vision. It wasn't even a thought during this time. This time I was just like, I just want to be an author now. I just forget that I'm finished school. I just want to be an author, be a trainer when I go out. So I went through the bid, right? I went through the bid. I went through the motions, being incarcerated, talking to homies. But how I spent my bid was educating myself, right? Sitting in
Yeah.
my cell, right? Writing novels, going to the gym, right? And taking as many jobs and things that I can, right? You know how it is. You got mandated requirements in prison. You might have to just do one program. I did three, right? Just to make the time go past, right? Make shit, just keep shit moving.
Yeah. I want to go
Um,
back to something you said, man. You mentioned that a lot of the OGs, the guys were telling you that you'll get a lot of stuff done at the end. And it's crazy
yeah,
that you mentioned that because I know you've seen it too. A lot of guys, they'll spend 10, 15 years not doing anything. And it's like at
yeah,
the end,
yeah,
now they want to start programming, they want to start doing certain things, but it's like, it's you at the end of your bit now. This is something you should have been doing early on and
exactly.
create a lifestyle. It's almost like, and you've seen this too, right? When somebody wanted to work out, start working out, like they want to try to lose their stomach because they got 90 days to the door now. Now they want to start working out at the end. You know what I'm saying? They want to start eating right at the end. But you supposed to create a lifestyle from the beginning,
Yeah,
man. So I can identify with how you were moving, man, because I was moving the same way. So, but there's a lot of guys that unfortunately they don't move like that.
yeah. I mean, and like you can tell, like you can see dudes coming home and again, people in prison, I don't put the blame on them because you in prison, it's lack of ambition, it's lack of motivation. How much ambition can you have behind these walls? You have the time to do so much things, but where does that ambition come from, right? It takes somebody sitting inside that cell like me or you to really have to dig down deep into that ambition from being in a cell and know like, nah, I'm gonna find some ambition in this jail and do something from in here, right? Which is like during my time, I just stayed away, right? Hit the weight shack, hit the yard, wrote novel after novel after novel. By year three, they was telling me I can go home early, right?
Mm,
Yo,
yeah.
you got work. A random letter came in the mail one day. Yo, you're approved for work release, right? So work
So you
release came
wasn't
along.
you wasn't expecting this,
Wasn't even expecting it. I applied for it, but you already know. Again, listening to the OGs, yo, you're gonna apply. You're a violent crime. You shot somebody, kid.
right?
It's a dub for you. And they right. I seen it 9 out of 10. But again, and it's not even. I'm not even gonna say like it's because I still took it free. I seen other dudes ticket free getting dubbed left and right from Albany from central office. But for some reason, I got lucky.
Right.
Into the same part of that story as my first year, I got a random letter from a prison ministry service and said, "Yo, something good was gonna happen before the end of your bid." It was one of them people who just randomly reach out to you from like a church, and it was like
Yeah,
something good
yeah,
was going
like a
to happen to you.
fellowship. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. In the years to come, prior to you leaving, that was in year one. I got that, and right before year three, I got a letter from Albany telling me you're going to be able to go home in 6 months, right after completing this intense program, anger management program.
right.
Um, so that was just also to show that this is where 2017 came. I was able to go home and stuff, able to get a job, nothing that paid crazy. It ended up getting a job like at a local gym, just cleaning toilets, cleaning the gym floor, picking up towels, sweaty towels with all types of nasty shit in it.
Yeah.
Again, even with the degree, this is like all I can get. I'm doing wild job applications. I'm doing job applications to Harper Collins, different writing industries. I'm trying to get into fitness management, and
Hmm.
I'm not getting nothing. But as soon as I applied to a
You
maintenance
get
job,
that.
I got the interview, scored. I was the best candidate for the job.
Right.
Like it didn't make sense. And then a friend told me like it was a person I met at Defy actually. He was like, "Yo, get on LinkedIn, man. It's the professional network. They're gonna have you have something for you. Put your
Yeah.
resume up there. Your resume is pretty good. Just put up there, you'll find something." I did that, and he was right. I found a lot of connections on there. But this was the thing: when those connections found out about the background again, it still turned back to how it was without LinkedIn.
Hmm.
You getting shot down. So I made it a step further with LinkedIn. I made it to the interview. I made it to just knowing these people.
Right.
And it was just easier to find different things that I needed other than just jobs. It was just there's a bunch of services on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
So it was just over time that I sat there and it was a few months of me just being on LinkedIn. I was in my crib one day and was just like, yo, we need this LinkedIn for formerly incarcerated people. Like we need this same exact technology for people like me and you. Then
Mm-hmm.
just recently I just told myself, I was like, yo, if you really say and ask a question, if you say, hey, what technology was ever made to advance men and women, formerly incarcerated men and women, you sit there and might be quiet for a little bit. Anybody asks that, it's like we get a moment of silence. You
Right.
got, Uber, Instacart. This technology is getting created every day. Different technology getting created. These technologies advancing the everyday normal person, right? Whether it's getting them to work faster, PayPal, sending money. There's no technology that's advancing us, right? There's maybe a couple websites that are going to send us to like these low wage jobs, or something, but there's no technology that can connect us efficiently, fast, and
Mm-hmm.
properly with everything all in one, right?
Right.
Jobs, mental health,
Right.
housing,
Yeah.
employers, mentors, and then just connecting with each other and sharing those ups and downs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then more so just connecting, which is why like just having like a connect with a professionalism that can like advance you. So I said, I got to make. That's when Con Connect came up. So it was while I was on work release, came up with Con Connect. Again, I knew technology apps are going to take. It's going to take money to make. I know it's gonna take money. It's gonna take connect, which is gonna take a lot.
Yeah.
Again, I was working at $15 an hour job, getting jack shit, and that only sat with me for a few months because I had a daughter out there who was waiting for me. There was one day the work leash they taking all my money. There was one day my daughter. This is when it hit a point. My daughter said, "Yo, Daddy, can I get some pancakes from McDonald's?" I had $3 on me. That $3 is only supposed to take me back to the jail that I was staying in on work release. I told my daughter, "No, I can't get you any pancakes." The next day, I went and got myself a pack, some drugs.
Mm.
30 days later, I'm violating work release. They catch me with the drugs and going back to jail.
Oh wow.
You see this whole process? So
Yeah.
work release is taken from me. Now I'm finishing my bid. Now they like, yo, and then not even, hey, just go finish your bid. Yo, you're maxing out. Automatic max out. You got caught selling drugs. You're doing the whole 5.5. Quiet. Right. So I go back up. They send me back. Now they send me back. You know how this goes. Now you're going to the worst facility. You're going to green, right?
Yeah.
Adolescent jail. Put me in an adolescent jail with dudes. Everybody think that it boss. It's crazy in there. With a
Yeah.
bunch
A
of
younger,
young,
young, a younger crowd.
younger crowd. At that time, I'm only like 26 anyway.
Yeah.
So, but it's a 19-year-old. So I'm in there for the next now year and a half. Now I got a year and a half left maxed out. I'm sick. Made a stupid decision, but what that allowed me to do was realize where I slipped,
Mm-hmm.
right? And also realize another problem that is going to be a thousands to hundreds of thousands other men and women like who are going to do the same shit I just did for
Mm-hmm.
the same reasons. That's because they're getting $15 or they're getting $11 or they're just getting a minimum wage job. And or it's even going to hurt more if you got the credentials and you work in that job. Like I felt I had the credentials and I'm still working. Well, I'm still doing this. And look
Mm-hmm.
where it turned me back. But going back up to state prison allowed me to realize that, allowed me to never forget where I came from,
You got
allowed
a
me to
reality check. You got that humble pill.
super reality check, super time to think about Con Connect and how I can redefine the tech space to really advance us, right? And with Con Connect, we thought of like Con courses, like educate
Mm-hmm.
e-learning that we're gonna, not just educate, but also influence, because it's not always about educating and teaching; it's also about influence. You need to be influenced to do these things, right? Like what I'm doing, what you're doing, what these other coming up formerly incarcerated people are doing. It's also they're not just educated; they were influenced to do these things too. So with Con courses, we are going to influence and educate not just formerly incarcerated people, but those men and women who want to work alongside them who already do,
Right.
because it's far too long that reentry is a trend. There's trends in clothing and
Is it?
what I got from jewelry. Reentry is staying the same though. They're using the 1970s, 2000, early 2000 tactics. So with Con Connect, we're staying. We're gonna use this technology and stay really in tune with the data of people coming home, why they're going back to prison, why they're
Mm-hmm.
staying out. Help the
So,
with with that data, we're gonna be able to help the reentries,
right.
advance the reentry, advance nonprofits, and then other than just, I mean, that's a part of what Con Connect is gonna do. The main part is just being all in one place, right? Because I
So,
needed Con Connect when I came home.
hey, so it's pretty much the data. It's a data-driven company. So is that
Yeah,
your value add? Is that like the value proposition? Is what you're offering opposed to somebody else that may be trying to do the same thing? Because data is important, man. It's used in everything, to be able to see the metrics of certain things. So is that what pretty much what differentiates you from anybody else that may be coming in your space?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna be that data. Data is gonna drive any tech company, right? Any
Hmm.
person trying to step into technology needs to just think about how valuable is my data. That's what
Hmm.
it's going to come down to, right? How valuable is the data that I'm going to be collecting, right? And also, how am I protecting this data and what am I doing with it, right? Because again, when people hear me and you talking about data, oh, what is this guy doing with the data? No, this data doesn't get sold. This, when I say this data is valuable, this data is valuable, right, to companies and other people want to know because what can we use this data to solve? What issues can we fix with this data, right?
Hmm.
That's why there's companies that are when you go on a website, it's like, hey, we promise we won't sell your data. At ConConnect, we will never sell your data. At ConConnect, we're going to use the data to help advance this issue and fix it, right? Because we're going to study it, learn it, and manifest it. And so, for anybody stepping into this field, they need to figure out that how valuable is my data that I have, or how valuable is the service my platform is offering, and from there, you just want to make it the coolest thing that ever. Whatever tech you're offering, you want to make it the coolest, best, right? Especially if it's unique.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so, like, what are some of the things you're doing to make it like that cool it thing, it factor? Because as you and I stated earlier, it's new. It's this space
Yeah,
is new for one, a lot of people that's formerly incarcerated, especially when you're coming fresh out from prison. I know I had a hard time. Well, I wouldn't say a hard time. It was just kind of it was a different, because I never had really used social media like that. And so
yeah,
for somebody who's coming home, like how do you not only make it a cool place to be, to hang out, so to speak, because it's a network, social network, and also on top of that, like make it user friendly for somebody that may not be, you may have that barrier to technology.
yeah. Facing that right now, right? So I already know a lot of my brothers and sisters coming home with that barrier to
Mm-hmm.
technology. This is why I got to work with parole, working with the Department of Corrections, working with parole, because those are the first people they meet. And I'd be lying to say, oh, I'm figuring out the best strategy for that is the first people that we meet when we go almost parole. Parole is going to be the person who guides us, man, gives them that first piece of information. That
Mm-hmm.
first, so with parole, we're trying to make sure that first piece of information, other than hey, you need to do this and that, this and that, this and that, is hey, do you know about ConConnect? Right? Because they're always sending you somewhere to do this, fill out this application, and we know that some data we have is over 60% of individuals who come home from prison are able to get a phone within their first 60 days or some type
Mm-hmm.
of phone, and that might be due to the public assistance, right? They're all over on every corner trying to get phones, so
Right.
the people are getting access to technology, which means they can get access to ConConnect. So it's all about if we can have the parole officers say, hey, you know about ConConnect? Because they want you to do all these programs, but they don't tell you really how to go about getting them. They just give you a list of paper and say these are a few. This one's in this city, this city, this city, and that's about it. If
Right.
we say here, go on ConConnect.com, make a profile, and programs that I want you to do, they're all on here for you. You can do it all from the comfort of your home. It's not that hard. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
can connect with the employers from here. The mental health that I want you to do, it's on there too.
Right.
It's all on there. So whose job is easier? The parole officer's job, and his way of his chances of success and reentry, 10 times more efficient, 10 times better. It's a
Right.
way
And
better chance.
and at the end of the day, it's going to save the state a whole lot of money when it reduces recidivism. So
Exactly.
how do you monetize this model?
So basically, how the same way I said, like how we advance nonprofits, right? So nonprofits, reentries, mentors, or second chance employers, mental health agencies, all those people are listed as connections when they sign up to ConConnect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have a free, or we're a free network, free account. We also offer ConConnect Plus. ConConnect Plus gives you unlimited access to Con courses, which is that e-learning system that we've created using we use successful formerly incarcerated people and world-class professionals in major companies. So who are willing to make professional courses or who are willing to just teach and inspire how to work alongside these individuals in this audience or how to just advance your nonprofit. Other than that, we allow when these nonprofits sign to ConConnect Plus, which they pay a premium for every month. It's just like LinkedIn, right? You can if you upgrade out of that pre version, you're going to be paying that monthly fee. So that's how we monetize. They pay a monthly fee. We give them additional features that they can use to advance their nonprofit. For a reentry, for a second chance employer, their features would look like more insight and data to a person they're looking for hiring, or we
Mm-hmm.
would help them get closer to that person who's done more of the e-learning, right? If we have a person who has 750 points in e-learning and they're taking super advantage of ConConnect courses, we're gonna make sure you see that person first, right? And that's how we're monetizing.
Okay. Oh, that's cool, man. Very, very unique, man. And I like how you're including like all the different. I'm gonna call them stakeholders on the website. You got the mental health component of it. You got probation, parole, everybody that embodies or encompasses the
Hmm.
successful supposedly reentry of somebody
Yeah.
who's coming home. And that's powerful, man. I don't like I say, man. I don't know of anything else that's like to the magnitude of what you're pushing out, man. So I want to tip my hat out to you on that one, bro. So what's pretty much next? Like what's like that big thing that you're actually working on with Con Connect is gonna really just take it to the next level. But before we get into that, right, hold that thought.
Yeah.
If you can get into like the evaluation and things of that nature, like when you were pitching the idea, like how were you able to kind of come up with all this information, like all this data, because you're well versed in what you're doing. I could tell you're polished with it, you know what I mean? And so for someone's listening, they want to start a tech company or any kind of company, right? Like what were some of those steps that you had to take in order like to get to the point where you're at right now?
So the first thing was just hearing a lot of negative stuff, hearing a lot of no's, right? And meaning that's feedback. So just for anybody trying to start a business, for anybody trying to start a tech business, um, you're gonna have to do your research on what issue are you here to solve, or what are you here to sell, right? That's just first and foremost. It's either you're here to solve something or we're here to sell something,
Mm,
right? And when you know that, you need to figure out get the most data on those two topics, either the most data on what you're selling or what you're solving. Because as you study that data is when you're able once you study that data, you're able to understand that data. With understanding comes what? With understanding comes the ability to explain something super clearly, right? So I studied this data for a long time. I've lived in this data. I'm part of the trend. So when I went in front of to PitchCon Connect, I wasn't. the first couple times I didn't get good feedback. Right, I wasn't ready these first couple times. It was like, hey, you didn't have enough data, or one point it was like, hey, you didn't know your business model good enough. You didn't know how you were going to monetize good enough. Or one point, you didn't know enough numbers for about how many people are coming home from prison versus how many people who coming home are going to sign onto your platform. A bunch of just different things. So
mm-hmm,
for anybody going into this, you need to be on point. You need to have the data for how much money your platform is going to make. You need to know who's your audience, what percentage of that audience can you acquire right from your competition. You're especially going in front of investors and going in front of a pitch committee. They're going to want to hear how are they getting their money back, right? So everything that evolves around finances needs to be on super point.
mm-hmm.
Everything that evolves around your product and the value needs to be on super point. You must know the value of your product more than anybody else, and you must be able to show super value in your product, right? The reason I can talk about Con Connect the way I do, I believe in it. It's super valuable to me and millions of other people, right? So it's just
Mm-hmm.
about really knowing how valuable your product is and really being able to explain it to investors at pitch committees and to anybody you feel like is going to be able to take you to that next level.
Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah, sound a lot of really good, useful information, man. One of the things that I kind of heard in between there is like it takes a team. You know what I mean? Because I'm understanding that now. You know that you can't do it by yourself. You can't be
Yeah,
an island, especially for what you're doing.
yeah.
I know you don't really have a tech background, so like maybe hiring that software developer. Like, what kind of
Mm.
team did you have to put together to bring Con Connect into fruition?
Oh yeah,
Like from the
definitely.
from the
Yeah,
MVP to
yeah.
to where it's at right now.
So yeah, definitely not from a tech background. Only had a couple semesters in it in college and did something else. So how that went again, that was taking a team, making connections. That was first making the idea. Okay, I know I want to make Con Connect. Two, I don't know tech, so what do I need? A project manager, meaning I need a person who's going to explain all the tech aspects to me super clearly and manage this project alongside with me. So we're managing it together, but he knows the tech, I know the vision, right? So that was step one, get a project manager. Step two for my project manager and me was interview a team of developers, right? So I can explain the vision to my project manager, but he can explain the vision in technology language, right? Let's just call it that. I'm explaining him the vision in my language. He's explaining the vision in technology to these developers. And from there, we had a team of developers who we're still working with that's building out Con Connect. So for anybody who's non-tech savvy going into the technology space, it's super possible You just yes, it in some ways it might cost a little bit more because you need that project manager and you're not really the one doing the coding, but you'll learn right from. It's just like learning from there because I see a lot of tech ventures for me in my future. So it's like tech is super. It's something that's really good and really clever to learn. But for anybody going into it again without that tech space, it's going to be your project manager. He's going to be the your bread and butter because he's going to be the person that speaks to you about the tech and makes you understand
Mhm.
it. And he's going to be that person who passes on your understanding to those developers who are going to be building out your dream company for you. So,
Wow.
which is super important. It's your company, so you really want to make sure you got a tech manager, a project manager who you understand.
Right.
That's the key to anybody to non tech savvy.
Yeah. So also, man, real good information, bro. What's the steps far as like to gain like capital? You know, we hear about venture capitalists, we hear about Silicon Valley and
Yeah,
places like that. What were some of the steps you had to take in order like to get in front of some of these investors or angel investors, venture capitalists to raise whether it was seed round or whatever you had to raise, or even if you got to that point yet? What were
yeah.
some of the steps you had to take to get there, and what did that
So
look like?
again, yeah. So what that looked like was just going to a lot of meetings, right? A lot of meetings, a lot of showing my that looked like showing my face everywhere I can, and speaking about Con Connect as much as I can to different people. That was again, for example, me and you here. Somebody could be listening. Hey, I like that idea. Let me connect with that person. So I mean, when it comes into raising capital, it's like it's going to be super networking. Again, I got lucky. I want to say and fortunate enough to be able to work with Defy and go to a bunch of different meetings with this network that was catered to an audience like me. And it was just in one of the meetings where I got connected with one person here, one advisor there, and then got connected with another advisor here. And then God willing, I was able to. I made it on to. I met somebody, Terrell Hall, who put me into the Pfizer incubator, and just last year August, I made it onto an advanced accelerator
Mm,
with this company, and that again, that just came from me networking, me doing my research, and figuring out what accelerator fits me, right? Because you can go on Google and do your research and find these accelerators, these incubators for anybody looking to raise, you know, angel investors, just raise capital in general, but you need to find out what accelerator, what incubator fits your company, right? Your company's vision, because everybody's looking to support or finance a different goal or a different mission. So it's
mm,
more like find out who's looking to support your mission and really like again going back to knowing your data before trying to go know these investors. And
right.
yeah, definitely. That's the way to go. So we're going to be going in front of an investment committee next month. How we originally funded the project initially was that was just me working ended up getting like a good job with New York Sports Club and becoming a master trainer, getting a super good salary with them, and actually funded ConConnect myself,
Wow.
which is what got me, which is what made the investors say, "Oh, this guy's serious," and
Exactly.
which is now I'm in that accelerator today. So
Right. Because
ConConnect, yeah.
no, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say that ConConnect it'll definitely launch soon without the investors' money, and then the next thing, our next launch will just be even better now that we have them.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely. So it's pretty much you. I was reading somewhere. It's like it's always good to ask for money when you really don't need it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That way you're not spending crazy, and
yeah,
because sometimes with business, man, we think that we need to throw money at it. Well, it may be other resources, that it may
yeah,
need. It might need to just hire the right talent, like a project manager, something like that, right? Or it might be
exactly.
a marketing manager or anything like that. And so, yeah, no, definitely, man. I love what you're doing, bro, man. It's something unique. It's very innovative, man. I'm really looking forward to just really seeing what the future holds, man. It's a lot of guys and women coming home that, man, I
Yeah,
get called all the time, man. Like I know somebody's coming home, man. Can you connect it with some kind of resource? And there's not
yeah,
one place that I know of that's like one site that's like comprehensive. I'm not just talking about like a resource directory, but actually something that's sustainable. You know what I mean? It's more than just giving you a telephone number to say call them, but it's all integrated. And so that's what I
yeah,
like about Con Connect.
definitely, bro. I mean, and that's exactly what we're doing. It's not we don't want to give you a phone number until you call them. They was doing that in 1960.
Right,
It's
right, right.
2020, and they still telling us to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, definitely, man. And so, yeah, man. So let the audience know pretty much, man, where they can find you, man. Any updates or any website you can give them for updates on Con Connect, your Instagrams, Facebooks, or anything else you want to drop for the audience. Because listen, too, also, a lot of people that's listening are incarcerated. because we're fortunate enough to be on some tablets in some of the correctional facilities, man. So you're speaking directly to men and women who, are where we just came from.
Definitely, definitely. And man, all I can say is, man, for the formerly incarcerated that definitely are listening to tune, definitely one, hold your head. Conconnect was a resource built strictly inspired, right, for you guys, strictly inspired and thought about deeply, innovatively, and every tech aspect of Conconnect has been really made to make sure that life is easier for the formerly incarcerated people, right? Life is easier for people like me and Aaron. And all I can say is, man, I definitely inspire and encourage everybody to go to conconnect.com, sign up as a candidate if you're formerly incarcerated and you need those connections, or if you want to be a connection to these individuals, sign up as a connection on conconnect.com. You can follow us on Conconnect app at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And again, man, to those formerly incarcerated people that are listening, there's a way. You got to find it. But that way is the way that anybody gets anywhere in life. Aaron, I'm sure you know this is through connections. Everybody
Hmm.
gets connected somewhere that takes us somewhere, right? A connection always takes us to that next level. There's really any time that I can say, yeah, I made it here, and it was strictly just by myself. Because even if I say that and think deep enough, it really wasn't by myself. Somebody helped me or told me something along the way that got me there.
Right.
So connections inspired me, right? And connections are what got me to be successful and have a good life within just my first 2 years of being home. So
Hmm.
connections are what are going to be to take anybody there. So Connect, man, it's just made to take you to the next level and inspire
Yeah.
professionalism, man. Definitely.
No, absolutely, man. I'm glad you touched on that. I was just speaking with someone about social capital, how important that was when I came home from prison to increase that social capital, that professional network. And it definitely sounds like Con Connect is the place to be, man. And again, I'm looking forward to everything you got to offer, man. So keep up, keep doing that, all that you're doing. You guys can check out this podcast on escapingtheodds.com. This is season 2. Real dope brother Con Connect, Andre, really doing some great things, man, nationally for the guys, men and women who's coming home from prison. Check me out on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I have the merchandise out now called Switch Hustles. You can see it here, available, all sizes, pretty much all colors. Rock with me. Definitely, man. Looking forward to seeing what you're going to be doing. Y'all continue to like, subscribe, share on YouTube, and just continue to rock it out with us, man, and support. And like we like to say here, opportunities over penitentiaries, and to continue to unlock freedom. Thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate you.
Definitely, bro.